It's time for Community Matters, a service of TCB Broadcasting, and it's sponsored by Vidalia Federal in Lyons and Vidalia, Todd Paget Housing Center in Claxton. Now let's see what's happening in our community with host Tony Doc Wardlaw.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to this edition of Community Matters. I'm your host, the Doc, Tony Wardlaw, and we're here on this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday morning. And I'm just happy to have you with us on this morning. I don't know if you're in your car, in your office, or wherever you might be, but we are happy to have you with us. And I'm telling you, we have a great show for you this morning. We have the one and the only, the debonair himself. Have you ever been called that before,
Never
Mr.
been
Matter?
called that before. Been called many things, but not that. Not that.
We have our illustrious county manager, Mr. John Jones, in the studio this morning.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for having me.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have you, Mr. Manager. We see a lot of things happening in and around the county, and good things that are happening. And you sit back and you wonder, okay, well, how did that come about, and how is this coming about? And so to have you on the show, every 6 months or so, to give us updates is an honor and a pleasure. So we appreciate you taking time to come out.
Well, thank you so much for having us and being able to inform our citizens of all these things that are going on and what the basis of them are, and so that they can understand more about what local governments are doing for them.
Excellent. Now, before we get into some of the things that are going on, let me just tell our listeners that you are our county manager, which means then you handle the day-to-day business of our county affairs.
That's correct.
Okay. And it is a hired position. Is that correct?
It's a hired appointed position. I'm
Okay.
appointed by the Board of Commissioners and serve at the pleasure of the Board of Commissioners.
All right. And you've been in that position now for a decade.
We're finishing up our 11th year here.
One day after Christmas, is it?
One day after Christmas, the first day after Christmas in 2012 was my first day.
Wow.
And my first day was the day that prior to that, the cities and county was in the local option sales tax lawsuit, and the judge rendered his decision on that day. And
Wow.
Chess Fountain, who was clerk of court, who I'd never met, came into my office, laid the judge's order on my desk, and walked out.
And said, "Here you go.
Here you go." And,
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. And so that was day one.
Wow. Wow. Well, you're still here.
I'm
11
still
years.
here. I'm still here. It has been a pleasure and a privilege for me to serve as county manager for Toombs County.
Excellent.
Just a bunch of great folks that live here, and they have welcomed me and my family in as if we've always been here.
Wow.
And like I say, it's just been a pleasure on my half and an honor to serve them.
Yes, sir. Great. Well, Mr. Jones, we see things happening around the city. One of the major things that everyone is taking note of is this huge and massive edifice that's right in the middle of our town. It looks like a courthouse or something.
You would mistake it for a courthouse, I believe. I believe you would mistake it for that. It's a project that's been really in the planning stages. Started 10 years ago, really.
Wow.
When we realized an evaluation of our buildings and realized that we had issues there, and in that evaluation, we also realized too, coming along, that the jail and the detention center needed expanding as well. So this project not only included a new courthouse, but it also included renovations and expansion of the current detention center as well. We're moving from a 120-plus bed facility to a 190-bed facility.
Wow.
And also increased the Sallyport area, changed it around, did some renovation, complete renovations of the existing cells as they are today, taking out all the electronics, putting in new electronics in the existing detention center as well. So it's a combination of courthouse and detention center project.
Oh, wow. It's been in the making now, you said for 10 years, But the actual building process has been about how long?
It's been we're in our second year on it.
Okay.
From the day they started January when they started pushing dirt around.
Wow.
We're finishing up the second year of it.
Okay.
And like I say, that's pretty much on schedule what we planned. We've had a few hiccups, but they've been pretty mild as far as delays. The general contractor and the subs with TQ Constructors and the subs have done a great job in keeping everything moving and somewhat on schedule. We started out, had a lot of rain that January and February. It was like a monsoon came.
Wow.
And so that kind of slowed things down. But again, the contractors did a great job of keeping things going and moving. And so it's like I say, it's pretty much stayed on schedule.
So when you talk about staying on schedule, what are we looking at for a completion date?
We're looking at possibly being able to move in at the end of October as far as moving out of the old courthouse into the new courthouse. That's probably going to be the same as with the detention center. I think the detention center is going to be completed by then, completely by the end of October, so that they can utilize the full facility as they're having to do now. They're having to move folks around because we're renovating some of it. We built the new cells, but we're renovating the old ones and having to move people around regarding that. But they'll be through with that probably by the end of October as well. And then that would allow us to be able to move in, but then it'll be another 4 to 5 months afterwards as far as the rest of the project, and that being the old courthouse and the parking and all that being completed.
Okay, so when you say October, you're talking about October 2023.
October 2023.
So the move-in is upon us.
Is upon us. That is correct.
Wow.
That is correct.
Wow.
Then once we get moved in, we'll be open for business over at the new courthouse.
Okay.
And then we plan on at that time selling off inside all of the different furniture pieces and all that's inside the courthouse as well. That'll be a 3-week period for that. It'll be publicized to the public and so forth, where they can come in and make bids and all on that. And
so it'll be auctioned off.
All of that be auctioned off inside the old courthouse.
Oh, wow.
And then that'll take 3 weeks after we get out. So you're talking about hopefully 1st of November with that. And then once they have that completed, then the contractor will then start demolishing the old courthouse and taking it down. And then, as you can tell already, the elevation of the hill that sets up there now will be dropped and lowered and basically pushed eastward back toward downtown lines. And then where the courthouse sits now will be a park that sits there, and parking will be around that park and on the east side of that park.
Oh, my. So the old courthouse will be no more.
Will be no more.
So we better get our photos now.
You get your photos now, get your wedding pictures and all that you want done in front of it. Right now's the time to go do it.
Wow. Incredible project. So we're going to have another park.
Going to have another park right out there and all like that, and it's going to be. Then we also going to have a sidewalk that will tie into downtown Lines. Lines is working on their end for a sidewalk to meet those two so you can walk back and forth from the park and the parking lot at the courthouse downtown and vice versa.
This is good.
Yeah.
See, this is why we bring you on the show. This is exactly why we bring you on.
But it's going to be really helpful, and like I say, it's a parkish thing that will be available for other types of gatherings that can have in the future that you see for downtown Lines as well, so that we can create the tourism dollars we want to in our community and the sales tax dollars we want in our community as well. We wanted to do something more than just have a parking lot with asphalt.
Right.
We wanted to have it something a little bit more beneficial to everyone, our local citizens, and something we could utilize for our community and bringing other folks come visit us in our community.
Excellent. Now, was that your idea?
No, that wasn't my idea, but
you're supposed to take all the credit. You got the mic.
No, I'm just here for the ride.
Oh, there you go.
I'm just here for the ride. It's an awful lot of work from a lot of different folks who come up with this. and all. And so, but again, that was kind of the plan as we were formulating what we wanted, what we wanted to look like, and so forth. Same thing with the appearance of the courthouse. The architects came in and surveyed all the stakeholders in the courthouse, all the tax commissioner and probate judge and clerk of courts, constitutional officers, and the employees themselves. What do you want this thing to look like? What's the appearance? And it almost came back. They wanted it to look timeless and classical.
Wow!
And that's what you see. The output of that is
very
timeless
so.
and classical.
Very much is so. Been around a lot of places in rural Georgia and even up north Georgia. It is a sight to behold in comparison to even our larger cities.
Yeah. Well, like I say, a lot of hard work went into it. The architect, Hussey Gay Bell out of Savannah, was the architect on this and did a great job in designing it as well and managing the project too. And like I say, TQ Constructors is the general contractor on it, and numerous subs, as you can imagine, who have doing a great job out there.
Yeah. Well, the public can actually have a piece of this, is my understanding. There is an opportunity for persons to purchase a memorial brick. Is that correct?
That's correct. The bricks are $100 a piece.
Okay.
You can go to the Toombs County website and there, or you can call the courthouse at 526-3311, and we will take your order and give you the forms to fill out and all like that. And like I say, a lot of folks are doing it in memory of a family member or that type of thing and like that. And then it'll be spread out there at the front of the courthouse and in this park area as well as where these bricks will be placed.
And so you can they will be placed there, and you can walk and see your memorial brick for years to come.
For years to come, for your grandkids, your great-grandkids, your great-great-grandkids can come back and see, grandfather, grandmother, uncle, aunt,
that's excellent.
Participated in this project, because this is the people's building. This is the people of Toombs County. This is their building, and we wanted to do something where they could help participate in it on a personal level as well.
So if you're listening on this morning and you want an opportunity to participate in our courthouse and you want your memorial brick, it's just $100, and that's $100 per brick. And you can call 912-526-3311, or they can visit the current courthouse now.
That's correct.
And you simply fill out your form and give your $100, and you will be connected and have part of history for years to come.
But the current courthouse was built in '64 and served Toombs County very, very well for 50+ years. And so, this is you don't build these facilities every day. So this one's going to be here for a while. And so, for prosperity, so to speak, if you want to participate in it, here's a great opportunity too.
How many of these bricks are available?
We don't have a set number yet to say there's going to be a limited supply of it. And I'll be thinking, if 28,000 people want a brick, we'll figure out how to put 28,000 bricks out there.
I'm sure you will. Well, excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to our county manager, Mr. John Jones, and what a wealth of information he is. And we're going to take a break, but we want to come back and see what else we're working on. Here we see road construction and other things that are happening. And so stay with us, and we'll be right back right after these messages with our county manager, Mr. John Jones.
We don't need a calendar to tell us that summer is here. Just go outside and you'll know it's getting hot, hot, hot. This is Anthony J. with Todd Padgett Housing Center, and we're inviting you to beat the heat in one of our beautiful homes from Southern Energy Homes, Cavalier, Clayton, Deer Valley, Live Oak, or Scott Built. We build all of our homes a lot more energy efficient than they would have normally come. So stop by Todd Padgett Housing Center in Claxton, Georgia, and pick out your energy savings dream home from our massive selection. Todd Padgett Housing Center, all of your housing solutions under one roof.
Smarter, not harder. Here at Vidalia Federal, we are all about that phrase, as we strive to make your life easier. No more drowning in paperwork or being interrogated over the idea of buying a house. Getting a home loan should be an enjoyable, simple process, not a daunting task. This is Julia McKenzie with Vidalia Federal Savings Bank, and I am here to make the mortgage process easy and simple. Come see me at the Vidalia branch on Jackson Street to talk about your next home purchase or refinance. I look forward to serving you. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back to this edition of Community Matters. I'm your host, the Doc, and we are here this morning with our county manager, Mr. John Jones, and you are telling us some good stuff this morning. I'm telling you.
Well, there's a lot of good stuff to talk about.
Let's talk about this, the furniture that's going to be sold out of the courthouse. You said everything must go.
Yeah, it's one of those, you hear those advertisements a lot. Everything must go. In this case, everything must go, or it's going to be took away one way or the other.
Right.
And govdeals.com is the one who's going to be handling that sale for us.
Okay.
So they'll have online that you can go to, as well as live auction as well. And everything's going to be sold up there, including ceiling tiles, doors, whatever.
Wow.
Is up there. They're going to tag and try to sell. And so any of that, those items you think you might be interested in, by all means, when we start advertising that, we'll give plenty of notice to everybody. Be able to come up there and buy you something.
Our general manager is putting in her bid early. She wants you to set this aside.
Okay.
One of the gavels. She don't want. She's like, don't put it out on the air. Everybody's going to go for the gavels now.
Those are priceless pieces, by the way. Just priceless.
Yeah, they're priceless. Now, I understand that there are some tiles that even have like, is it cigarette burns or something?
Yeah, the tiles on the floor around the large courtroom up front. When I first came here, I noticed around them there was these small burnt marks around the doors. And I asked Mr. Alvin Hitchcock, who had been county commissioner and worked for the county as building maintenance, I asked him, what's causing that? And he said, it's cigarettes. When the old days in the 60s, they just stood outside the courtroom smoking a cigarette. When they got called in to go into the courtroom, they just dropped their cigarette, put it out on the floor, and it burnt all these small little burnt marks in the tile around the outside doors of the courtroom up there.
I can see people now lining up to bid on those.
Well, I tell you, the other thing talking about that was when we did the beginning part of the civil work, moving the dirt around and all that, we found remnants of the old courtroom house, the first one that burned, because we found some of the timbers that were still burnt there, and then we also found some of the brick that you could still had the soot and all on them. And I grabbed me two of those bricks.
Look at that.
I took two of those bricks, and then later on, as they were digging more, just recently putting for the parking lot, they found the footings of it, and they are brick footings. That was what the old courthouse, the original one, stood on, was those brick footings. And
well,
so
you're talking
pretty
about
neat.
priceless.
Yeah,
that
pretty
is
neat.
That's very neat. Well, that's gov.deals for those of you who are listening. Govdeals.com. I'm sorry, govdeals.com. So keep a look on that, and you can go there and purchase these items as well. So we see a lot of road construction going on. I'm not sure if you're familiar with what's or if you are part of the county. What's happening with 280 now?
Well, 280, we're not involved in that directly. That's a GDOT state Department of Transportation project because it's a state highway.
Okay.
And so, but we were aware that was going to happen and so forth coming in here. Excellent. And it was much needed.
Yes.
We had a lot of issues on that road to be repaired. It's just used an awful lot, obviously. And so was aware of that project. Another project related to 280 is 292,
all right,
which the recent T-Splosh that was just passed a year ago,
That's
which
right.
this year is the first year of a 10-year T-Splosh, the regional project for that is widening 292, beginning west of Chatters and going to approximately near 297.
Oh, my.
So that's our regional project. The last regional project we had on T-Splosh was the widening of US 1.
Mm-hmm.
And Appleton County's regional project was the bridge.
That's
so
right.
we basically wound up getting two regional projects
regional
out of that
projects.
T-Splosh. But this time around, that was what was put forth that was accepted to widening 292 beginning there. Now, when will that occur? It can occur anytime between now and 9 more years because it's a 10-year
It's a 10-year
T-Splosh.
T-Splosh.
So it could start in 3 or 4 years. It could be 7 or 8 years before it actually starts.
Mm-hmm.
And but since it was passed in that referendum,
It's going to happen.
it's going to happen.
It's just a matter of when.
It's just a matter of when. Also along those same lines is the first phase of the bypass
Mm-hmm.
has been let and awarded, and you'll start seeing a lot of civil work, bulldozer pushing dirt around and all that here shortly.
Oh,
you
wow.
may have noticed as you cross 280 and 292 and some of the other roads that are across, markings in the road where the contractors already went out there and marked the edges of the right-of-way and edges of the road, proposed road, and all that kind of stuff for them in the construction side of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to get started too, and those are 4 to 6 year projects from start to finish on those. But that project's getting started here this year.
And it's going to happen too.
Yeah, that's happening too. And then that takes it from south of Santa Claus up to McDilda, and then the second phase takes it from McDilda and connects to US 1 right there where the industrial park is, and that's phase 2. But phase 1 has already been let and is contracted out, and like I say, they're doing work now. Just kind of behind the scenes, but shortly you'll start seeing that move about as well.
So this is a number 1 bypass?
Yeah, this is the bypass that people have been promised here in Toombs County, I think, for half a century maybe.
Wow.
Maybe not quite that long, but quite some time. But that's happening. County-wise, ones that we're eminently involved in is the paving of Orange Sharp and Hugh Taylor Road, which connects Aimwell and Ezra Taylor Road.
Excellent.
And also McClendon Road, which connects to that same road and connects to Harris Industrial Boulevard. We're going to be extending that. Now it turns, we're going to extend that straight so it runs straight into Harris Industrial Boulevard. That's going to help alleviate a lot of traffic off 280, particularly when the Onion Festival comes, because you can come out that way and you can get back over to Ezra Taylor Road to the airport and vice versa, and along with train with their traffic that they have. Now they'll have a way to go south, and not all have to be dumped out on 280. And so that project's ongoing now, and that hopefully will be finished up by the end of the year. We've got a partial paving project of Hammond's Church Road that will start here sometime later this year. They're still in the drawing boards, but engineering work done on that. But that'll get started, if not into this year, first of next year for sure.
Whew. Wow. That's a lot going on.
A lot going on. It is, but it's all good stuff.
It's all good stuff.
It's all good stuff. And like I say, you should start seeing some of the T-Splosh projects that's been awarded start out as well. We talked about the regional project with 292, but our local project here that's set for Band 1 county-wise is the resurfacing of the Vidalia Austin Road. Down there. I say Cedar Crossing, Austin Road, right there, where going back into Montgomery County, and the road right here, Normantown, old Normantown Road, is going to be widened and resurfaced as well. So that's our Band 2 project, which may get started next year, if not in 2024, 2025 for sure.
Wow. Now, this 292, you're talking about a 4-lane highway?
They're talking about 4-lane highway through there, that widening.
Oh, man, you're going to get a lot of hugs for that one. Probably starting with the dock.
Well, it used to you could sneak back and forth to Vidalia
Yeah.
pretty quick on
Yeah,
292.
yeah.
That day's went away.
Yeah, it's over.
That day
It's
went
over.
away.
It's over.
You know, we have a tremendous daytime population.
Yeah, we do.
And that comes in here. And circling back about the courthouse,
Mm-hmm.
all the courthouse and detention centers being built and paid for by sales tax dollars.
Oh, wow.
And so that's not property tax dollars that's being used to pay for that, sales tax
Okay.
dollars. And those sales tax dollars, same thing with T-Splosh. T-Splosh
Yep.
is not only sales tax that we're generating, but what other folks from outside our county
Outside
spending
our
here
county.
generates and helping pay for all
Excellent.
this. And so that courthouse and detention center is being paid not only by our citizens through sales tax, but those who are not here, living here, but who shop here and all as well. And again, as I mentioned earlier, while we always are trying to look for ways to create more sales tax dollars in here, because it's not only helps us pay for those capital improvements like the courthouse and all, you got local option sales tax, which is a rollback to property tax. So
Right.
it's property tax relief to everybody as well. Whether you live in Cedar Crossing or you live in downtown Vidalia or you live in Normantown, you get some of that sales tax dollars off your property tax.
Woo. All right. Excellent. Well,
Like I said, all good stuff.
yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Well, and we're gonna keep it. And we're gonna end
We're
on
going
a
to keep
good
it.
note.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Jones, we're hoping that you will still be with us. You've been here for a decade.
Yeah.
You think you got another decade in you?
I don't know if we got another decade in me, but we're going to make a run at as long as we can make a run at it. Right now, somebody asked me about, are you getting ready to retire? I said, I'll retire when I'm no longer having fun. But right now, we're having fun. We're having some fun,
That's
and we're
good.
enjoying it. And it's just a privilege and pleasure for me and an honor to be county manager and serve the great citizens of Toombs County.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We thank you for all that you do, and we appreciate you taking time to come in and talk to us.
Thank you, too.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our county manager, Mr. John Jones. We thank him again for all of that he does for our county. All you got to do is call 912-526-3311 if you have any questions. The county meetings are open to the public, and when are they again?
They're the third Tuesday of every month,
Third
and
Tuesday.
at 5:30. And in fact, our next meeting is next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
At 5:30, and of course, it's open to the public and all. And like I say, just usually it's in the first courtroom as you walk in the main courthouse, right there to the left. Is normally where we have all of our meetings, unless court's going on and we have to move to another place in the courthouse. But like I say, third Tuesday of every month at 5:30.
Third Tuesday at 5:30 every month, and you can go there. It's open to the public, and you can see what's going on with our county. Thank you again, Mr. Jones, and thank you all for joining us on today. And I hope that you have been as enlightened as I have on this morning. We got a lot of good things happening here in our beautiful county, and we appreciate it. Everyone smile. Show love to everybody. No need to be angry. We've got a great community. Good things are happening, and God is good to us all. So thank you for listening in. Thank you, Ms. Robin Crabb, for producing our show. We also give a shout out to Ms. Dorothy Davis, who puts this show on our website, tcbbroadcasting.com. tcbbroadcasting.com. You can go there, and this show will be archived. So if you missed anything, you'll be able to catch it again. Also, come back again on next week, and we will have another great show for you. I'm your host, the Doc, and I thank you for being with us. Take care, and we will talk to you soon. God bless.
You've been listening to Community Matters with host Tony Doc Wardlaw, sponsored by Todd Paget Housing Center in Claxton and by Vidalia Federal in